Hello, this is Nick with Albert Air, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Carrier Furnace with the NFC board. So as always, please like this video, subscribe to my channel for more information about this sort of thing, and leave a comment in the section below if you have questions or want to know more information. So I'm going to get right into this video. Basically, all the Carrier furnaces now have an NFC board. You can see this logo right here, and that is how you can connect to the furnace. The furnace does not need power. I am at my shop right now. This is a training furnace that we're using, so we can get up to speed on how this works. So I'm going to connect to this with my smartphone. I'm going to show you how you can program this board. That way, when you're out in the field or at your shop before you go to the job, you know how to do this. You do need to do this on every furnace. This is a 60,000 BTU furnace, so it's basically a 4-ton furnace. I'm going to show you how to program it and kind of the steps that you take to do that. So I'm going to grab my phone and we're going to connect to this board right here. So obviously you're going to need a smartphone and you're going to need the Carrier app. And on the app, you're going to go connect to equipment. You're going to select the furnace setting. You're going to go to installer setup at the top. And then we're going to hold our phone, and this is an iPhone, and we're going to go connect, and we're going to hold it up to that NFC symbol. And I have had problems before where it doesn't connect, but there we go. It says ready to scan, success. So in the settings here, we have a whole bunch. We have the heating airflow, high cooling, low cooling, continuous fan. You can see that is set at 1. I'm going to grab my phone here and kind of show you from the top angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to heating airflow, and I can see it's set at an 11. Well, what does that mean? Well, what you need to do is you got to open your book. For this one, it's on page 44. A lot of books, it's on page 20. But we're going to find the 060 model right there. And you're going to look at what the constant fan is set at, a 1. The heating default is set at a 10. And then the cooling is at an 18. So what you need to do before you even program this is you need to know your ductwork size. On this system, let's just potentially say it's a perfect 4-ton system, 400 CFMs per ton at 0.5 static. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 0.5 static pressure. We're going to come down, and on heating, we're probably going to set it for around an 11 or a 12. And on cooling, we're going to go at the probably a 17 on that, which would be 1575 CFM. Your constant fan, you're going to probably move up around 11 or 12 as well. So to be able to do that, we're going to go back over to the NFC board here, and we're going to be holding our phone, and you do want to keep it slightly close, especially after you finish. You want to hold this phone pretty close to make sure it locks in. So heating settings, we're actually going to move up to a 12 on this. So we just can move this slider up and down right there, and we're going to say OK. The cooling airflow, we're first going to select tonnage, and we're going to go down and we're going to select 4-ton on that, and I'm going to move it to 17. I'm going to select OK for that. The low cooling, this system potentially could have a 2-stage condenser outside. You probably leave it at default 10 is fine. If it's not a 2-stage condenser, it's a single stage, it will automatically be the high cooling airflow. Continuous fan, we're going to move that all the way up to a 10 for that. And then we're going to select OK. You can also, in here, you can select heating blower off delay if you'd like, cooling blower off delay, furnace orientation, we'll just consider it an upflow or horizontal, and we're not doing any twinning. So we're going to continue. It shows you your settings right there. So we've moved the heating airflow from 11 to 12, the cooling from 18 to 17, and the continuous fan airflow from 1 to 10. We're going to click continue. It says ready to scan, so we're going to hold it in there. It does say success, so that means it's locked in. Don't move the phone away. Leave it here for just a few minutes and select done, and we are all done with that. Again, you are going to need to go to your book and look at the CFM chart. Decide what your static pressure is by knowing, what your ductwork sizes is and all that. And you're going to use these numbers here as references and follow it over to your static pressure. If you do have any questions about this, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd be happy to help you with this. These boards have been out for about a year now. We've been doing them for about that long. I thought it would be nice to make a video for people so they can kind of see, you know, the process of this. There are a lot of options within those settings. So if you install a larger furnace than needed, you can obviously move down the airflow settings to adjust to your ductwork. So you're not going to have too high a static on the system. It will perform properly. Also for noise, the blower operation, you can move you know, the CFMs up and down on cooling, heating, and constant fan. So the customer, you know, has a very good experience with your install, and they're happy with their system. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for my next videos coming out on the new R454B Carrier systems that are coming this year. And then also we'll be going over a lot of other new products that are coming out this year. Thank you.